Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Should the Dodgers sign Carlos Rodon? We're going to talk about that in just a second. But quick reminder, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Do you want to see the Dodgers sign Carlos Rodon? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. And what kind of contract would you offer him? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So there's all this talk about the Dodgers potentially signing Freddie Freeman and Carlos Correa, but how about the Dodgers starting rotation? Because they need to fill the hole left by Max Scherzer. And we're going to start a series where we look at all the Dodgers options for their starting rotation. We're going to start with Carlos Rodon. Should the Dodgers sign Carlos Rodon? Well, first and foremost, let's break out that dream Dodger free agent meter. And for me, if you could get him on a short-term deal, maybe even a one-year, $20, $25 million deal, I'd go with 3 hats, solid, let's ride. If it's lower than that, maybe a 2.5 to 3 hats, something in that range. But really it comes down to what kind of length is he expecting, because Scott Boras has already made it clear that he doesn't want his client to sign a one-year contract. So will he be looking for a 2, maybe 3-year deal? Will a team like the Angels that's desperate for starting pitching be willing to ante up and meet that asking price? I think that's possible, but what if the Dodgers can't re-sign Clayton Kershaw? What if they can't pull off a big trade for a Luis Castillo or a Frankie Montas or someone of that ilk? What if the Dodgers need to sign a pitcher like Carlos Rodon? He is a left-handed pitcher. It could be an intriguing possibility. But first, how good of a pitcher is Carlos Rodon? Well, let's take a deep dive into his numbers. In 2021, Carlos Rodon posted a 2.37 ERA, a 2.65 FIB, had a 34.6% K percentage, a 6.7% walk percentage. In 24 games, 132 and 2/3 innings pitched. His home run to fly ball percentage was at 9.6%. His expected ERA was at 2.68. His xFIB was at 3.17, and he posted a 4.9 FWAR. He finished 5th in the AL Cy Young Award voting. He finished in the 95th percentile in expected batting average, the 96th percentile in K percentage, the 90th percentile in whiff percentage, the 93rd percentile in X slug, the 96th percentile in xWOBA, the 80th percentile in fastball velocity. And if you look at his pitch mix, he throws that fastball 58.6% of the time. Last season, his heater averaged 95.4 miles per hour, and then he goes with his slider as his primary secondary pitch. He throws that slide piece 27.1% of the time, and then he goes with that changeup 12.5% of the time, and then very seldomly he goes with that Uncle Charlie at a 1.8% clip. But let's do a little rewind on Carlos Rodon. He was drafted 3rd overall by the Chicago White Sox out of NC State in 2014, and he was limited to just 12 starts in 2017 due to a bicep injury, and then ultimately he underwent arthroscopic shoulder surgery in the offseason, and that kept him to just 20 starts in 2018. Then in 2019, he was the Chicago White Sox opening day starter, but then had to undergo Tommy John surgery in May of that year. He made 4 appearances for the White Sox in 2020, including 2 starts, and in those appearances, he gave up 7 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings pitched, had 6 strikeouts to 3 walks, gave up a home run. After the season, the White Sox non-tendered him, and there wasn't very much interest in Carlos Rodon, so he ends up re-signing with the Chicago White Sox on a 1-year, $3 million deal, and at that point, the injury-prone label was firmly stamped on Carlos Rodon. He had thrown just 42 1/3 innings pitched from 2019 to 2020, but he does return to the White Sox on a 1-year, $3 million deal. He made some changes to his mechanics. He modified some things. He refined his delivery, his release point, and he really found something because he was on fire to start the 2021 season. He tossed a no-no in his 2nd start of the year against the Detroit Tigers. He made the All-Star team. His ERA was down to 2.14 at one point after a strong outing against the Houston Astros. But the issue with Rodon was he started to fade. You started to see that velocity go down. You started to see the innings go down. He averaged more than 6 innings per start and 96 miles per hour on his heater through July 18th. But after that, just 4.5 innings per start and 94.1 miles per hour on his heater after that. So there was definitely a drop-off. The velo on his fastball dropped all the way down to 91 miles per hour in his start against the Reds in late September. But they did give him 12 days off, and in a start in the ALDS, he averaged 96 miles per hour. So he did get it back up towards the very end of the season. So there is a lot to like when it comes to Carlos Rodon. I think the best thing about him is if he's healthy, he does have elite stuff. The slider, the fastball, you saw how dominant he was when he pitched his no-no. And what it comes down to is what kind of money and years is he looking for? Because if he is willing to sign a short-term deal, that is what this organization is looking to do. Look what they did last year with Trevor Bauer. Look what they were trying to do with Max Scherzer. You don't have to make that 4 or 5 year commitment, that long-term investment. And if his health isn't what we hoped it would be, he's going to be off the books before you know it. And yes, make no mistake about it, he is a big health risk, but if there's any organization that can keep him healthy, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also, he's going to benefit from the Dodgers pitching coaching. Look at what they were able to do with him in Chicago. Just think what the Dodgers could do with him in LA. You know they're salivating at the idea of bringing in a Carlos Rodon and getting a filthy pitcher. Because look, if you're the Dodgers, the way you look at this is the fact that he does have these health risks. It might scare some teams off, but if you're LA, you know what you could do with him. You know that you could get the best out of him. You could potentially take his game to the next level. And I think if you're LA, this makes a lot of sense, because if he were healthy and there weren't these health risks, he's a pitcher that would be able to sign a 5-year deal and get $100+ million or something in that range. So this could actually be a plus for the Dodgers, the fact that they could get him for less money on a shorter term deal. So I would definitely consider it, especially if they can't re-sign Kershaw and they can make a trade. It's just about the years and the money, but I think that it's a very interesting possibility. But then again, you have to factor in the Scott Boras angle. Will Scott Boras ruin all the fun and wreck the party like he always does with the Los Angeles Dodgers? That's also a possibility as well. But hey, that's my take. Now let's get into some of your takes. And then I asked you guys over on Twitter, should the Dodgers consider signing free agent pitcher Carlos Rodon this offseason? And 69.4% of you said yes, while 30.6% said no. And that was with 1,321 votes. There's still 6 hours left in the poll, but let's get into some of these responses. Jonah Hill in Moneyball tweeted, nah, there are arms left on the market that could throw quality innings at a lower price point. Buehler, Urias, potentially Kersh, Bauer, Gonsolin, and May back sometime 2022 to make up for the current gap in arms. And then M_Kendaza tweeted, Boras is going to make whoever signs him pay a premium price for a barely above average pitcher. Injury prone over the last 4 seasons, and aside from this past season, his career stats aren't amazing. Then at Desert Seas tweeted, I don't know, world likely to end before they play ball again, so sure, why not? And then Walker Buehler's burner tweeted, I'd take it into consideration, but not a literal let's effing do it priority. Then at Evil Ruse 77 Ian tweeted, with Boras being his agent, I don't think so. Then Alfred tweeted, why not? Then Andrew Francis tweeted, consider it, absolutely. Actually do it. Not as sure, but worth the consideration. Dodgers Nonstop tweeted, I mean 50-50. Then Adam tweeted, hell yeah, brother, with a little Hulk Hogan give. And then Grandpa Kirsch tweeted, he's good, arm is cooked. He's literally Friedman's dream of a player. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you think the Dodgers should sign Carlos Rodon? What kind of contract do you want to see them offer him? How much money? How many years? Let me know down below. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all offseason long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to GearUp.LA. Download the new Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.